Tell me about like how you got into having this animal sanctuary, because you were led by the Lord to do that,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm. So when I was a kid in New Rochelle, I was rescuing anything I could find. So, like I said, I wasn't well as a kid either. I was in and out of the hospital a lot with severe asthma to the point of like I was in oxygen tents, just
Oh,
trying to
wow.
breathe. So it was a pretty serious medical situation that was going on.
Sure.
And so I would go walking near the building, and injured pigeons, kittens, I would find them and I would bring them home. Now, my father was that way as a child. He would rescue animals as a child and he would bring them home. So this was interesting. So now here I am rescuing these animals and bringing them home as a kid, and absolutely just loved animals. I was very good with them from a young age. And so that's how all of that started. Now, we fast forward, we move up to the Hudson Valley, right? So now it's different. Now you got a whole different array of animals up there that you don't have in the city. You got coyotes, you got turkey, you got bears, you got all sorts of animals that you don't see down in the city. And when we moved up there, after I graduated high school and went to Siena, when I had come out is when I had that whole health episode we were talking about. I started rescuing stray cats because I couldn't work. So I turned the garage into a little rescue center, and I started dealing with the stray cat issue that the townhouse complex had. Taking them in, rehabbing them, taking in their kittens, getting them medical care, training the feral adults, which are like training a wild animal, because that's what they are,
Yeah.
and adopting them out. So I did this at the beginning when this happened to me. This was my training, was, looking over animals, tending over animals, stewarding in that sense. So by the time I get to the age of about 33 years old, okay, I had been hospitalized for 2 months before that. So it was like the fight of my life. It was like the enemy was going to throw everything but the kitchen sink at me. And I was either going to, have victory through Christ, or I was going to fall from it. So when I got done with that, and we'll go to that story in a bit, but when I got out of the wheelchair and I was completely paralyzed at that point in my life, and the Lord had delivered me out of that, I was told by a woman who is very prophetic. She had said, Amanda, the Lord is going to send you animals, and you're going to take care of them. He's going to start to send you animals. So I don't know what this means. I'm like, okay, you don't know what he's going to send. I mean, he created them all. He can send anything he wants. So on the property that we lived on, which we still have our horses on for the sanctuary, there's a pond. 2 ducks showed up. Just 2, male, female, mated mallard pair. And so the Lord says to me, you see those 2 ducks? You're going to feed them every day. Every day. No matter the weather, no matter how you feel, because for me to walk that with a cane distance, that was a sacrifice.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, because you were still battling. Were you paralyzed at that point?
I had come out of the wheelchair,
Okay.
and now I was walking with a cane.
Got it.
But it was an effort for me to have to walk. It
Yeah.
was an effort for me to walk any distance. And so I start buying feed, and I start going down and feeding these 2 ducks every day without fail. Back and forth. Now, as I'm walking back and forth, it's strengthening my legs too. So the Lord's got multiple reasons for this. So I'm
Wow.
getting stronger. But then the Lord's talking to me, and I'm learning to hear his voice as I'm going back and forth too. Well, those 2 ducks, because I consistently did it, turned into 80 ducks running around our property. They went and told 78 of their closest friends, and they all showed up. And they would hold vigil at our garage if I didn't feed them on time. So they would literally march up to our garage and wait there for me to feed them. And I did this for 2.5 years. And in the middle of that, a Muscovy duck showed up, which Muscovies are from South America, Key West, Florida. They're warm weather ducks. They're big ducks. They're very intelligent ducks, and they only hiss, the males. They don't quack like you would think of like a normal mallard duck. He shows up lost on our property. And so the Lord says, you see him? You're going to feed him also. I want you to take care of him also. And I named him Jake, and Chris built him a pen. He was our first official rescue. Jake was one of our first official rescues, besides Roxy, our dog, who we took up from a shelter down south. She was on a euthanasia list, and the Lord told me to take her, and I took her and I brought her up. And so, after 2.5 years of doing this, And towards the end of that 2.5 year mark, all of a sudden now a farm calls me. We've got a chicken being bullied by the other chickens. Can she come to be with you? And so I took her in and I named her Jingles. And then we got Jake a girlfriend. We took in a female, Muscovy, named her Daisy. So now I have the 80 ducks, Jake, Jingles, Daisy, and Roxy the dog.
Oh my gosh.
Okay, by the end of the 2.5 years. And after that is when the Lord said to me, when I had done it consistently for that long, now you're ready. Now you're ready. And I want you to start making videos. And I want you to tell the audience what I'm going to tell you to say. And that's how that started. And that's how the sanctuary started. And that's why the Lord named it Ark of Grace, because it has a dual meaning, Ark of Grace. Because, well, Noah and the ark, when humanity was and the earth was going to be covered in flood, the Lord sent clean and unclean animals of every kind to Noah, had him build an ark. Took him almost 100 years because there was no Home Depot at the time, and there was nothing that could have, accelerated that process. And the Lord sent all these animals, and Noah took them in, and he cared for them.
Wow.
And he saved them.
My goodness.
Right? So
Yeah.
that's part of it. And then the other part of it is, because ark in Hebrew is tabah, and so Jesus was our tabah. He was our covering, and he
Yes.
took the beating.
Wow.
And we're under that covering. And so
Wow.
Ark of Grace marries the two of those together, like only the Lord could. Ark of Grace is a reflection of the heart of God, because the Lord finds us in our broken, abandoned, orphaned state.
If you enjoyed that clip and you want to watch another video like it, you can just click right over here. Or if you want to see my other channel, Directed Life, full-length interviews and really deep conversations, you can click over here.